Hello, Hola, Konnichiwa, Salaam, Ciao Namaste. Peace to all. This is Soulology, the science of the soul, featuring
Azley.
and this. You want to go ahead and say your channel and everything?
So you can find me on Azley's Universe, and where I talk about anything and everything, and questionnaires. Sometimes people need some help, and I'm here to support.
Okay. And what we're going to be talking about for today is what we were talking about earlier is free thought. Now, for some people, they may feel as though that's something that doesn't exist. So we're going to go more into detail of that. Because personally, for me, when I hear free thought, and this is something that truly does happen in our world, is the fact that we are blocked from a way that we think. That you should think in this way, or you should buy these things because it's most popular. And a lot of the things we know usually is that the most popular item is usually, just because it's popular doesn't mean it's effective in what it does or it works. And that's a big problem in today's society, that we feel personally like that if I buy like this, then I can catch up with everyone else. Kind of like keeping up with the Kardashians or keeping up with the Joneses.
Like the standard quota.
Exactly.
Something to tag along to what he was saying, we've realized, it was a conversation that we had earlier today, was that a lot of times we're told to do things in a certain manner. Take example for school. You go through elementary school and you're told, get good grades, study, keep doing your homework, and then you go into middle school and you're like, all right, I know what to do now. High school comes and now they're telling you, oh, go apply to these colleges, make sure that you keep going to school so that you can get a good job. They don't tell you the part where you get in debt and then you gotta somehow find out how to get out of that debt. And then you're going to school for a career, and this career may or may not be something that interests you completely. And it's not even something that you're passionate or fulfilling your purpose with, but somebody along the lines, along the way told you had to go to school and you had to go study. So then you ended up going to school and studying and doing all these things.
Exactly.
And that's something we wanted to talk about.
And I think personally for me, the other thing to add on to that is the simple fact that we live in a world where it's all about memorization and not critical thinking. You're told to memorize the math problems. You're told to memorize the English problems. You're told to memorize his story. And that is something we will talk about actually later. It's not history, it's his story. And we're told to memorize these things over and over and over again without any thought of should we really be doing that, or should we actually be going past that? And that's a problem in today's society. We feel that, well, I followed all the rules, I copied everything you said, and then I didn't get to where I desired in life. That the problem is we don't critically think of other ways to get to where we desire to go. We think that if we get a job, if we go to school, we'll get that big paycheck that we always desired, instead of deciding that what if I do my own research? What if I find other means to grow money in my life or other income? What if just the thought process of what can I do to grow more in my life instead of following the social norm? For some people, maybe the social norm works, but for other people who desire more out of their life and being who they truly are, you may not find the social norm to be very effective in growing who you truly are. So the question is, what are you going to do about it?
Right. And then something that's even more looked up, far left behind, is your happiness. And truthfully, the success that comes with knowing where happiness is lying, especially for you. Individually, we all have something that makes us more excited, something that ignites that fire inside of us. And if we're looking it over and saying, oh, well, we're going to school for this and going to learn about this, but reality is that my heart's in giving to people and being that light for someone else, so that they can find their purpose, so that they can be more aware of their reality for their specific reasoning. Because ultimately we all have a uniqueness, and that's exactly what we were talking about earlier, that we have something to give, and what better thing to do than to give it, you know?
Exactly.
Find it.
So, like I said, when you're talking about free thought, it's the perspective of, for example, what we're talking about. Most people don't desire to hear these things because of the fact that many of us live in a box of fantasies, and we want to keep there because it's comfortable to us. We know it. We felt that type of comfort, the ability of that comfortingness. I know that's not a real word, but we felt how comforting it is to be in that box. And we don't want to leave that because we don't know the unknown, and the unknown to us is scary. It's an example like a story I once heard when I was younger about a soldier who committed a crime by martial law. So he had two choices. He could be shot by his brigade, or he could venture into the unknown. He took choice number 2, which was venturing into the unknown. Anything could have happened, of course, but the one thing that I'm pretty sure even he understood was the fact that even venturing in the unknown means that I have a chance to grow and live.
Exactly.
So you have a choice in a sense. You can keep following the social norm, but remember that it's not giving you your own free thought to think about that, because you're pretty much in a sense being told what to do. And you, of course, many people be thinking, well, that doesn't seem right because I choose this and that. You choose that due to the manipulation of what ads and what shows, what colors are being shown. And to add on to what I'm stating, you can tell this happens because if you've ever watched, for example, the NFL, when they have release a commercial, or the World Cup, when they release commercials, these commercials are prone to making you feel a certain way about a certain product to buy that product, and it's very effective. We have the capacity to do that to you, period. So you have to be willing to get past that. If someone shows an iPhone and they say it's the new iPhone 10 X whatever, and it's like it could do X, Y, and Z.
Exactly.
People eat that up and buy it because of the fact that everyone knows iPhone. Everyone knows iPhones are cool. But what if you could just get a phone that you're like, yeah, I don't really care for that. I'll just get this. Or everybody goes to McDonald's, or everyone goes to Pizza Hut, or all these other places across the world. We eat at these different restaurants and everything. What if you could change the social norm of that? For example, it's not really personally good for you to go out to eat. And
you can watch my last YouTube video from
yeah, and no, we'll put that in the description. It's not good for you to eat out constantly and consistently every day, and it's better for you to eat more healthy at home because of the fact that, first of all, it'll save you your own money, and on the other end, it's going to save you and your own health because you know what you're putting in your food. But do you want to add, because since you were talking about your video,
moreover, we are constantly in this society where someone will tell you, oh, this shake was so good from, say, McDonald's, since you just said that. A McFlurry. How many of us have heard our friends say, like, a McFlurry is so good and I want one right now, I'm craving one right now. And it's so instantaneously available for you. You can go and drive through and you pay for it and it's already made for you, and now you can have your McFlurry. And the reality is that our things are so instantly given to us. Instant gratification is in our daily society, where you can go on Amazon and you'll find
you'll find like a toy or a trinket that, because like, especially if you have Amazon Prime, that if you do it, like if you have that, I want this toy and trinket right now, you can now have it same day.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we're trying to share with you. Sometimes our influences come from commercials, from friends, from parents, from literally everything. We're habitual elements of our constant environment. So we're saying let's have a conversation about being aware. Well, how aware are you when you're going in your car and you're listening to the radio? How many things are being commercialized to you, and you're now the audience to all these things, and you're like, oh, now I want a Ford, now I want a Mercedes.
Not even just that. The other point even to that is what she was talking about, the radio. The things you listen to are commercialized through the music you're listening to,
right?
And it because what we don't understand is you go by a few standards of light, which is different colors of light. You go by vibrations and sounds, and these play an effect on how you act, how you feel about things around your world. If it's played correctly, one way or another, you are going to feel a certain way about it.
And you're constantly fed all these things, because the reality is when you're not listening, your ears are still listening. When you're not being aware, your eyes are looking at everything. You're concentrating on one piece of your environment, but reality is your mind's capturing it all, from sense to hearing to visual things. And when you're aware of these things, you start to realize, oh, these are the things that are negatively impacting our lives, because this is when we're straying away from our path to go into a direction that's being taught upon us. And reality is the only person you really have to listen to is yourself, and that's the most important one.
Okay, but we're going to stop it here. We're going to make a part 2 very soon, and hope you guys enjoyed. And just know that you are amazing, you are beautiful, you guys are divine, you are the gods, goddesses, and creators within. So, we will see you again in part 2.